And finally, Choppies. This is the recently listed discount grocer. It's got stores in Botswana. It reports in Pula and it has its headquarters in Gaborone. Its CEO, Ram Otapatu, I think is based there. But they are expanding into South Africa. They're also in Zimbabwe and Zambia. But South Africa is where they're moving because they're in talks to buy a retailer which has a bigger footprint here in this country. Market capitalization quite a lot smaller, but that's not too surprising for the new kid on the block, 6.8 billion rand. Okay, so it reports in Pula, but it's listed on our market, so you can measure its scale in that way. Price to earnings ratio 28.21, dividend yield 1.19%. It's catch your eye. It's quite nice to have a smaller retailer.
It is, but I just don't think that they'll be able to expand and expand successfully given the consumer environment, especially in South Africa and a lot of the smaller rural towns as well as the mining towns. So,
because the thing they're buying is called Jaiwelani, and I haven't come across those specific stores. But, you know, they're something like 45 and they've got quite a big footprint in KwaZulu-Natal and Eastern Cape apparently.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with the business, but I'm just a bit concerned about the rural areas.
But this is a very successful business and has done a tremendous job in Botswana and has grown very fast, and, you know, 60% still, 65% I think of the profits come from Botswana. And the management team have got to be credited because that's been a very successful business of a relatively low base in recent decades. And I mean, that's not uncommon. Companies that come to the market have done so well, and that's why they come to the market, is because they want to take the next step in terms of their visibility. So I think you've got to hand it to them. And of course, they've sort of delivered results growth in line with their prospectus. And now, of course, it's really just a question of building up a track record. Let's look and see what the chart looks like. Yeah, so no fireworks, that's for sure. Maybe people did expect perhaps a little bit more. You know, the market is a very demanding beast, and once you jump on the treadmill of the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, or any stock exchange for that matter, then it's like you want to see delivery. Every 6 months, it's got to be rising.
Sure. But I do think that they have good expansion plans. It's just the current environment that concerns me. So. I think the management is a good team. It's just the current environment that does concern me.
So the current environment is just the more general issue of, you know, job growth, economic prospects looking a bit soft, you know, rising other inputs, taxes, that sort of thing.
Especially at the low end consumer. And of course, I mean, like I said, they're more in the rural towns, a lot of mining towns. So just not that positive on the outlook.
And we know that there's a problem with government spending as well, so we can't expect a significant uptick in terms of social grants either. So how are you going to call this one, hot or not?
Not hot for me.
Not hot, yeah. I'm afraid I'm going to go that way too, perhaps just a little bit soft in that environment.